This is Friday, November 2nd, 2012. Just starting to look at the bunkers here at number 11. I can't for the life of me think why, this is not even one of the greater examples, but I can't think for the life of me why these bunkers are so large back to the tee and away from the centers of the green, and exceptionally large, like in this back right corner past the staircase, which I'll try to zoom in on. Well, it's not entirely working. But first I'll start with the front bunker. As I'm walking towards the front left bunker here on number 11, and I just started from just a little past the tree, the dominant tree to the right of the green. As you can see, I'm looking, there's three fingers: left, center, which is far left of the green, and to the right, which is closest to the green front alleyway. This alleyway right here. Now, what I don't understand, or I want to know what's desirable about this entire area of the bunker here, and I'm going almost over on a line with where the middle of the three peninsulas of sand go. What is this part of the bunker doing here? It's the one that's closest to the tee. It doesn't have the carry element of the entirety of the rest of the bunker, and I'm just holding the portion that I would keep. Why isn't this the portion of the bunker? This is where the steeplechase to carry and get onto the green is. It's not back here. This is just additional penalty for the player who's hit short. He wasn't carrying the green anyway if he got into this bunker, and I don't know why he's penalized further with sand all this way when the real effort was to be here. But even if we could disagree about, if reasonable people could disagree about what this portion of this bunker is, and I'm kind of profiling around here so I can get some of the green into the picture. Yeah, now I'll kind of come back. What I don't get about this portion of the bunker, even if it were to stay, is why is this profile, I'm having to descend into it. I don't know if the video picks it up well, but as you stand in the bunker and look back, why is there, a little more than a foot drop into this bunker? And this is like this at every bunker at Brae Burn, or nearly every bunker at Brae Burn. Why isn't it level with the ground? Why don't you just, here, as opposed to stepping up, and my feet are spread eagle. Here I'm just turning around. Why must you have to step down into these things? Why can't you just go flat with the level of the ground? I'm panning back away. On the side, it might be more visible. I just had to step up like I was stepping, on, climbing up to the top of the first step of going up to the Statue of Liberty, when I just stepped out of those leaves up to here. My feet are a full 14 inches above the first step into the sand. That's just way too much. When a leg length alone is about 32 inches. But also, too, it just drains everything into the bunker. Why must the player be further penalized by a gatherer of a bunker as opposed to just a flat entry into it? Okay, if it's going to remain there for some strategic, debatable reason, okay, but why must they all be curved in? I mean, and I can only imagine that for any superintendent, and one even of the quality of Blake, this is just added untold thousands of dollars and man hours of labor and maintenance and related support equipment, to do these jobs right. And when they wash out every single time. Now, of course, the bunker faces, bunker faces at Wink Foot, they ebb and they flow. Some wash out, some don't. Things are adjusted over time. But this is just, this lip. I mean, now, my feet here are about 16 inches over the first step into the bunker. It's a little less there. It's like 10 inches. Why isn't it just, a profile of an inch, 2 inches down into the ground? And this is the way it is with a lot of bunkers here. Now I'm going back over to the right bunker here on 11. And again, this is one example. I happened to, I was here looking for the railroad, the Westchester Northern line, and and then coming over to see what the storm damage Sandy did out here. I saw some uprooted trees and whatnot. But here we go. I mean, can the leaves almost speak to the elevation of this bunker? And more to the point, this bunker, as I pan around, as I walk around its outer right rim, another one where, look at how steep that is into there. Why isn't that much more flush with the ground? I mean, that one over there is relatively benign by Brae Burn standards, that front left bunker. I mean, that's what I said, some places it's 10, some places it's 12, some places 14, something 16-inch drop at first step in the bunker. This one over here, this is, I mean, the leaves are masking some of it. This is, nearly a 20-inch step into the bunker, or at least 18, certainly, 1.5 feet. Meanwhile, look at this part of the bunker where everyone enters and exits, and that's a good thing to have a common entry point. Look at this one over here. This is about a 4 to 6 inch step. Yeah, about 4 inches. I just stepped into the first part of the bunker. A 4-inch step into the bunker. I mean, that's reasonable. I mean, it has to be some, shaping or altering. It can't be absolutely flat with the surface, although I don't know why. If it can't be flat with the entry grass into it, okay, that's one thing. But at least that's something that's navigable by all people. And if that were around the same, so much more access and quickness of play, and quickness of the caddy maintenance, and then of course, the superintendent's maintenance. It's just immeasurable after the initial, expenditure. You'll get the money back over 20 years of whatever needs to be done to rectify or choose which ones are most prioritized for rectifying. Okay, and then of course the final thing, the bigness. One of the biggest things about a valid critique of Brae Burn's strategic values, I could say, strategic value and playability versus challenge and aesthetics. This is kind of where this argument comes in. But this section of the bunker, first of all, is rarely used. And it guards a rarely used portion of green, probably pinned here in this back right, one every 3 weeks, 21 days, at most. That might be a stretch. Might be once every 40 days. It's pinned back in this back right corner. So it's protecting nothing. It's just here. It just gathers not only a right shot, but a overhit right shot. And there's certainly, if you missed over here, there's certainly, ample penalty already if this thing weren't even here. But why isn't this just a grass profile of the bunker? And I'm at the grass-covered staircase right now. I'll kick over some of these. There's the staircase. The bunker, in my mind, and the perspective I'm coming from, should start and should end about there at the staircase, or maybe just a little. Again, there's the beginning of the staircase, or maybe a little past it. And why this enormously high profile that requires a staircase in the first place. This is of course a 3.5, 4 foot drop. Into this bunker, but measured by these these steps of about 6 inches a piece. I don't know. I don't really know what their specs are. It's hard to tell right now. But it's needless. All it does is get washed out. Nobody's ever here, or rarely here. And if those shots that are here, why can't they play off of a grass shot to this wonderful green? I mean, if the pin is where it is today, that's going to still take a great deal, in seasonal conditions, That's going to still take a great deal of touch, navigating whatever kind of a grass bowl or new profile is made here. If it's brought up to the level or something, or it's just the sand is raked out and removed, and this is regrassed in this section of it. And looking over here, and this is a huge bunker. I mean, from where I'm standing to that common entry point I spoke about earlier, that nice 4-inch flat entry point. I mean, we're talking, just about 22 yards or so. I wish I had my yardage gun. 22 yards, or about 66 feet. Yeah, home plate and nearly the pitcher's mound to the catcher. Isn't that enough space for a common, well-known, good, relatively sound, visually impressive bunker? I mean, isn't that enough, especially as you look at it from back at the tee? And no one's planning on missing back in this long right area. You haven't done anything to where the shot over here was not controlled, I guess is my point. It's already, offline. It's just fortune that it doesn't end up in this part of the bunker or into what I would propose as a new grass place, or still remain right of the bunker and go into this, bad area heading down to the front, the white tee on 12, So that's one look here at these bunkers. Number 11, Brae Burn Country Club, November 2nd, 2012.